Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am so glad you're joining me because we're jumping right into one of the wildest, most hotly debated topics in enterprise tech right now. If you've been following the AI space lately, you've definitely seen the buzz, and let's be honest, maybe a little bit of panic circulating about the supposed death of RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. So, is Open Knowledge Format, or OKF, actually going to kill RAG? You know, sensationalist headlines just love a good showdown. It is a completely fair question, though. Whenever a new framework drops and promises to perfectly structure unstructured data for AI, it's super easy to assume it's coming to take the reigning champion's crown. Well, here's the twist. The future is definitely not OKF versus RAG. These technologies aren't enemies. Pitting them against each other completely misses the point. The real future is the ultimate tech team-up, OKF plus GraphRAG plus a knowledge graph. They are so much better together. But to really get why this combo is such a game changer, we first need to look at the growing pains of our current systems. Section 1. The flaws of traditional RAG. Let's give credit where it's due. Traditional RAG absolutely changed the game for us. It totally transformed how we connect large language models with external private enterprise knowledge. It gave us the power to pull in relevant real-time info, which critically slashed those annoying LLM hallucinations. I mean, for a while, it really felt like magic, didn't it? But as our enterprise systems grow and we start asking way more sophisticated questions, the cracks really start to show. Traditional RAG has some severe limitations, and the core issue boils down to chunking. Think of it like a giant jigsaw puzzle. Chunking takes a beautiful, cohesive document, shatters it into a bunch of individual puzzle pieces, and just tosses them into a database. When you search, it finds similar-looking pieces, sure, but the overall picture, the context, the relationships, all of that is lost. And that makes it incredibly hard for the AI to answer complex questions or do any actual reasoning. Let's anchor this with a concrete example. Imagine a retail support document. Buried inside paragraphs of text is a really critical chain of events. Store 133 has a specific device, the Verifone M400. That device is running firmware 5.2. Now that firmware caused a payment issue, and that issue was fixed by a very specific patch. That right there is a logical, structured chain of relationships that's just hiding in plain text. And that brilliantly illustrates the problem. Traditional RAG doesn't see that chain of events at all. It just sees a random text chunk and a mathematical embedding. A basic vector search might actually retrieve the document because the keywords match, but it totally misses the vital chain connecting the store to the firmware to the failure and to the patch. It simply has no idea how they're related. Section 2. Enter Open Knowledge Format. So what exactly is OKF? Open Knowledge Format is a framework that converts unstructured documents into structured, AI-friendly knowledge before it ever goes into RAG. It's not replacing RAG, it's a pre-processing powerhouse. It's all about doing the heavy lifting and preparation up front. What's really fascinating here is exactly what OKF pulls from your PDFs, web pages, and messy documents. It doesn't just scrape text. It extracts entities like Store 123 and Verifone M400, and more importantly, it grabs the relationships between them. It captures metadata, context, complex tables, hierarchies, and even the provenance, so you always know exactly where that data came from. Basically, OKF preserves the actual meaning and structure so the AI can truly understand it, rather than just doing a blind search. Section 3. GraphRAG and Neo4j. Connecting the dots. This brings us to a huge shift in how we ask questions. Standard vector search, the engine behind traditional RAG, is ultimately just asking, what looks similar? It's hunting for semantic overlap. But when we combine GraphRAG with a knowledge graph, the system can suddenly answer a fundamentally different, much deeper question. How is everything connected? If we walk through this architecture flow, you can see how it all comes together. Starting on the left, we've got OKF, beautifully structuring all that messy knowledge. Then, instead of just dumping those chunks into a standard vector DB, this newly structured data feeds right into a knowledge graph, specifically using tools like Neo4, right alongside a vector DB. So when a user asks a question, the GraphRAG retriever doesn't just do a flat semantic search. It actually traverses the graph. It walks those relationships we just built. It's using both the vectors and the graph for some seriously deep reasoning. Bringing it back to our retail support ticket example, this means your system can now effortlessly handle a highly specific, multi-layered prompt. You could ask, show me all stores using Verifone M400 with payment failures after firmware 5.2 and the fix supplied. Traditional RAG would just choke on that. It'd throw a bunch of random paragraphs at you that happen to mention those keywords, But GraphRAG, powered by OKF and Neo4j, navigates those precise connections to give you a definitive, spot-on answer. Section 4. The Enterprise AI Evolution. Let's zoom out for a second because this timeline really puts everything into perspective. In the past, we just had keyword search, right? Finding an exact match. Then, recently, RAG brought us semantic search to find similar ideas. Today, we're mostly living in the era of hybrid RAG, blending semantics and keywords. But right now, we are stepping into the near future, GraphRAG with Neo4j, where the system actually understands connections. And this is the critical stepping stone to the ultimate future of intelligent agents that can genuinely reason, act, and solve problems end-to-end. We're not abandoning retrieval, folks. We are just giving it a brain. So why does this combination of OKF and GraphRAG win? Well, the business value is just massive. It gives you way better accuracy and answers that are actually grounded in reality. It effortlessly handles complex, relationship-heavy queries that would instantly stump a basic bot. It breaks down information silos across your entire org. It lets you scale your knowledge base without losing all that precious context. Ultimately, it enables real, actionable AI reasoning for the enterprise. Which brings us to the definitive bottom line from our source material. OKF doesn't kill RAG, it supercharges it. When you combine it with graph technology, you're building AI systems that actually understand, that reason, and that deliver real impact. RAG is not dying. RAG is evolving. So, I want to leave you with a question to evaluate your own tech stack. Take a hard look at the tools you're relying on today. Is your enterprise AI truly reasoning by understanding how all your data connects? Or is it just searching through a giant box of disconnected puzzle pieces? Thanks so much for exploring this evolution with me today. Keep asking those great questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.